Led onto the field by the former Cat Bear and the number one overall pick in 2016, Jared Goff. And at one point, the ascension of Jared Goff was really, really strong. Back-to-back Pro Bowls, took his team to the Super Bowl and came really within one quarter of winning it. But since that time, he's had bouts of inconsistency. And that's been the struggle for him as he tries to get back to the form he showed earlier in his career. And he just went skipping past him and is still running essentially. One play and he hits pay dirt. The goal is to be for me and get the extra point. It's a big goal. So just one play, the Stanton, a very nice Stanton, in the end zone for the touchdown. Sidney to kick this one away, and off it goes. It takes this new 24, just a little bit slow, at the 26. The Cardinals now getting set to go offensively, and it'll be the dual threat quarterback Kyler Murray leading the way. And the tendency for most of these guys is to want to manage things right away because they have a lot of confidence in their talent too. They just saw a big strike against their team, and they're thinking to themselves, "I can get this back right now on one play." Well, if it's there, you take it. But otherwise, just go ahead and calm your team down. Put in the offense, get things going, and see how things go. Get the shoulders square and give your teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that game. Second down, 8 to go from the 20. And here's Miller. It's completed the goals. It's a gain of 11 and a Cardinal first down. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively to get the touchdown. And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so we're going to be ready. Until I guess it and try to keep us in. This is the chance to respond to that first touchdown game. What about Casino? They carried it secondly. That's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. The guy who made the call, we often talk about when they took a good first step on it. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going. And once you have the read, gives it a play. They give those 2 yards right back, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 10. I know the speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge. So down and 10. To throw is Murray. You know, it's never easy to get Kyler Murray down to the ground and to do it with a sack on their first drive. What a great tone setter defensively. Oh, no one's celebrating more than the defensive coordinator. It's all these plays. Keep him in. Don't let him get into the open field and create big plays with his feet. To get him down in the pocket early, that's going to feel great for them. Back deep, Khalif Raymond. This is taken at the 18. 46-yard boot, just 36 yards. Pretty decent return. Back onto the field come the Lions for their 2nd overall drive. Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here. And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure unbridled joy. So nothing going there. That's the second down, too. That's a self-flowing catch with completion, 0 yards gain. So they're behind schedule on down and distance. I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Let's get 34. And against 6, it'll leave them with 3rd and 4. My next teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for it. He knew right. He wanted to get touched by everything. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, he knew where the pressure was going to come from. He said, I know how to beat that. And that's what he did. Now, that was a big time play by the defense. They as well knew where the first down line was, and they didn't let them get anywhere near it. And how about the call here? They need 2 yards in their own territory on 4th down, and they're going to go for it. They're going ahead and set them. Decision to go for the Cardinals will take over with excellent field position. So they take a big chance here in their own territory. And you think the coach may have some questions to answer? Yeah, and normally we focus on the media, right? The social media barrage that he's going to get for this one. He's not on his own sideline and in his locker room. Because I think the team's going to look at my coach. Why didn't we go for it there? I mean, no confidence in the defense. You don't like the punter. I mean, what's going on here? You want some explanations. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Felt it to counter. Now Murray. That's a big second game. But they just couldn't connect, and that was send them back to the drawing board. Now a 2nd and 10. To throw, it's Murray. It's the game. Bring up a third down. I think this is about racing. This is getting because with his speed, want to give the ball in speed. It's a draft routes just like this. You get the ball and run after the catch. Just there, they're hoping for a short game. Shotgun now from there. Because it needed to come to the conclusion there. Not just the start with good quick position is basic fourth down. So on fourth down, it comes Chad Lyman for the Minnesota field goal. And the she's an even 15 attempt. And this will split it's right down the middle. That's on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So they're able to get that drive with 3 points in this one possession ball game. And ideally, you want to get every drive with points. Most quarterbacks will tell us ending with a kick, right? But PAT, that's number one. Field goal you'll take, points. You really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game. Riding down the front of the to kick it away. Dangerous return, sure. His offense engineer Gibbs ready back into the field. And he's made his presence felt in the ground game already in this first quarter. They might very well lean on him the rest of the way. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They're coming off a fourth down gamble that last drive that backfired CD. But really, this battle is a killer. The defense can only be about 3 points. What they do is pull off the game, then on the defense, give them. Give you the 3 points in that situation after they failed on fourth down. And now they want to make it pay off for you. They want to pay homage to the defense and have their own drive pay off the points for themselves. 2nd and 10. And they'll send the tight end in motion. There's going. On the fifth pencil, taking it by the point. It gets set out of the so the left field of 3rd and 3. It's not people about the game something that was a positive play because that was a take what you can get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. From the gun. They're able to get a conversion. Don't let her down short. You're thinking you're just going to be substitute. But this time it's wrong. A nice dart picks up the first down and then some. Was in front there, and then he runs into Blues. It's just down the side. Does this meet the level of drafting? Fortunately, he did have a receiver in the area, but I have seen less obvious throwaways called as penalties. Here's 2nd and 10. Come off now. You can go throw. The screen. This is Fields. It's back at the 40 loss of 6 yards on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. Well, his completion percentage continues to rise with that one, but sometimes you want your completion percentage to go down. Maybe she'll go through that one away. I was just going to say, and it's easier said than done, but that's what you need to do. You need to speed, make sure he doesn't catch up. It's a chance to catch up. So 3rd and 2, it was 3rd and 16, but they get the conversion anyway. What a drop in this has been just here's one of those plays yet. As they finally get down into the red zone, they look to finish this off with 6. On the first, it's all the news. 16. We're getting 2 minutes of the game, and it will take us to the end of quarter number 1. After 1-7-3 the score on Sports. Second quarter action now for Detroit, and it's the homestanding Lions who have the football. As they've got a 2nd and 8 forthcoming. First and goal coming up as they get at the 6-yard line. It seems as if the passing attack is starting to heat up a little bit here in the second quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum because now they're reading their patterns downfield, they're understanding the coverages, and they're finding the open holes in the defense.
It's time. Let's continue. It's still no rain. There was no building through the conditions of that touchdown pass.
Yeah, no, it wasn't necessary. His receiver run that on him to save himself, not losing the way, go ahead and score a touchdown.
Back to your punt tip here, still to come. So the consumes 9 plays on time. And a gadget play gets him into the end zone. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And that team got the 26-yard line just across the 25. Got a football back in the hands of the Arizona Cardinals. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down there. Working to put a drive together. He goes down there. And the official getting on the play, and it's and it's a defensive end getting quickly swarming to the football, making a tackle. That's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throw back a little bit in the run game because those defensive ends are like going to stuff. That's what was going for the quarterback. That was good recognition of that delivering in that game.
Starting five.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the better in this offense. We know not everyone's going to be a big hitter, but they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
4 and 2. Knowing that the football.
But many times when we're talking about regular quarterbacks, you get the sense that they feel like they can get out of any bad situation. They keep moving around and trying to emulate guys like the scrambler or the dodger. Instead, they keep losing yardage and digging themselves a hole that they can't get out of.
Here's the looking at formation. This first point, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. Just 2 on the Tuesday. First and 10. It's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart, pass. And you make some adjustments. It's certainly appeared to be a play call. They're just trying to make second down, second and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
Defensively, they are in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a quarterback like he is to not play too much zone.
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving him. But it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, give him a zone blitz game. And you can drop one out of your defensive end, defensive two. Just a straight
So we can get some situation. First and goal at the 4-yard line.
This offense is looking very comfortable here in this first half. Very relaxed, very smooth, very efficient. No wasted motions. Things are definitely going their way, and they continue to move the ball downfield. I see the surprisingly face that that is a rare completion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion wise way up, not that time. 2 of their 3 red zone trips so far, they come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on second and goal. They'll go as a once in a yard in a second.
I thought they were onto something with the play call. He kind of went reverse a little bit, threw it on first down, then ran it on second down. Not successful either way. What play call did they come up with here on this important third down try?
Now go forward for the so throw drives, 3 touchdowns, another PAT from going up 21 to 3.
And there's no doubt you're liking what you're seeing so far, aren't you?
That's unbelievable. Well-oiled machine, if you will.
It's really that defense. They're up in the shadows at this point. They don't know which way to go. They're being hit in every direction, and they have no answers thus far.
They're one of the here if you can play after. And the average of 20 touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they will run it again, and they can bring it for ship everything. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. Still the first move, but this offense is still never really been able to get anything going. Not only in the points category, but in the yards category. So if they can do that on this one. Murray and the Cardinals with a 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. First is a string of baskets and then really was the call there. Starting especially for a team that's a little bit of a reputation for throwing it downfield. Come out, you think maybe you can catch them off guard a little bit, and they did. Little screen pass, back door, and that's it. Going for a second game. Here's Murray as he sets the throw. It's a game of a little bit of first down. This rush is a little bit bringing the heat. Has already gotten home a few times here in the first. Sometimes if you keep protecting, you get through it. Speaking passes like that until the little steam out of what's going to rehit this rush so far. 1st and 10 is keeping. It's going to be a scrimmage and taking down. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
How do you feel they'll stay committed to running the football special? They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Option it's more. 50-second to go in this first half on EA Sports. Less offense, finding its Lions now. Here's another 1st and 10. Murray going to throw. And it was going to be incomplete as he let him get too much. And it can't be said. At least this drive. I'm going to tell you something. For this passing game, it has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect. I'm trying to pick up another first down. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. There's Murray. He's going to cover some good game. And he was going to put the first down. He needed to get the penalty as it will officially go down to 5 yards. It's 86. And 1st and 10 here. You know, if they could just get 3 out of this, there's something about narrowing it to 2 straight games. If it makes it feel the defense going to use the 1st and 10 minutes. It's the step that you're coming to get in this first half. So, another. First go. I think you're on. This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. There's Murray. Sweden is going to use the 1st and 10 as they get the stoppage with 50 seconds to go in the first of 13. So first down went the wrong direction. They're at the 13-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Murray again. He's going to step up. So let's get the foot. Turn it over. Gets enough yards closer for 30. I did look at the decision-making note to make sure they picked up something and still throws on the throw. Now they get more management play to try and pick up the first down. And go more up the possibility. But he just keeps it and runs it. First, Dancing in the final 2 minutes of the half. So this will be blowing down, and it'll come back to the start of the third. Here's Chad Allen for the field goal. That's 32 yards away. It's 18. To 3 points there in CD that helps them inch a bit closer. Yeah, Barter, when you're losing, don't you see that the board in your favor? You didn't take them. So after the field goal, line back, was just sitting this one alone. And looks like it up past the 25 to 26 yard line. The Lions get out to in this first half. They're running, enjoying a 2-score lead here late in the second quarter. Not a ton of time left. We'll see if they can work this at least into field goal range and try to get 3 to add on even more to their lead. 35 seconds, all that remains in the first half as they come up on first down. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive. Units. First down at the 38-yard line. It's the third. It's a game of 3. First and 10 on the 28-yard line. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout ball. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. From the right edge, this from 45 yards away. It's his kick is good. Even further. So a big play before the end of the half to get us into this spot, and they cash in the 3. The 1-2 to the solar plexus on that one. Field goal. Not much time left on the clock. That's the way to go into the half. So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. Well, here comes only 2 for just beyond the goal line. Coming up, let's get you down to Orlando and our buddy Scott Hansen with our EA Sports halftime report. All right, Brandon, thanks much. Welcome in, everyone, to the Orlando studios. Scott Hansen with you for a quick recap of the first half, which has been strongly one-sided. This is heading towards blowout territory unless they can come from behind and get themselves a victory. Let's find out what happens in the second half. Let's go back out to the commentary team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis. All right, Scott, thanks very much. And we welcome all of you back here on EA Sports for quarter number 3. It'll be the Cardinals who get the ball first. They trail here as we resume action in the third quarter. Nice little juke. And now starting to the struggle just across the 3 minutes left in the time. The Cardinals ready to go to start the fourth quarter. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play on this perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, efficient, get the ball to the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
Too far downfield, something those linemen have to watch out for. And that time it costs them. Connection. It's more. Two catches in the first, anything he's got a third here, and it's good for a first.
It's all the time about playing situational dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they got to push the ball downfield and take their shots. And with big chunks of movement in a short amount of time.
For his second save for the afternoon.
You can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory in the horizon now. If it comes to fruition, look at the game going to the front seven. Defensive line is taking charge and control this game. These are just stopping his opposing offense, and they did so with ease.
Yellow Seamless defense will be charging again. Second and 15. Throwing now is Murray. Third down.
The game's not working sometimes. You just get chances down the field. That's a good effort, but it winds up incomplete.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. To throw, it's Murray.
This is just a continuation of what we saw in the first half. So much for the first start at the beginning of the quarter. Still off target throws, no rhythm during the football, and obviously no touchdown scored in this game.
It was the Cardinals going on season. Here to play it over today. So the championship is in here. And then we get first and two, let's go over. So we're going to look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. Golf for this Lions offense set for a first and 10 at the 20. St. Brown in motion right. Now let's go. He's got to blitz again. Simple way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
Well, we may be looking at this offense so is not because it's showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blowing leads throughout the series. They don't victim to it themselves.
I like the slot that catches him.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop it. Why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Now 80 yards for him. He was been terrific here this afternoon. I've seen him break off the big man already in this game for a second. That one looked like it might be another.
I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let them get to the second level because sometimes you break off the big run on his own. You get additional something yeah, that's what we said. He's not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
So from just across the midfield stripe, here's 2nd and 9. A shotgun snap from the ball. The first this man here at the Cardinals 33. For a strong kick out of 16 yards.
Time to give some credit to the big fellows. The offensive line here because you've got good protection on crossing routes because you got to give your receiver time to work all the way across the field. That time to be able to scan the field, spot his receiver moving left to right, and make a good accurate throw. Thank you, guys.
It's 16 yards. A little division from the previous play when they got 16.
Well, so they had success throughout this contest, getting in the ball in the passing game. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
Six to their lead. See, anytime they get close to the red zone, he is such a threat, and there he is again already. His second touchdown of the ball game.
And I know it's probably been a little bit of a fail on my part, but you know, watch a game through defensive analysis, and you don't understand what the coverage is doing there. When he headed out deep, they should have adjusted and flown towards him and said, to not there and give him a chance to make a big play. And of course, he did exactly that. His speed
splits the audience. Now to 25. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And we'll go down as this drive starts the 25-yard line. Here's the Arizona offense as it gets set to take over. Defense getting the better of them last series, forcing a play. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. Murray and the Cardinals with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. It's pretty indicative of what this thing's been doing. It's not the first time that it continues. This season is just not very much separation.
So that means they're doing the 50-50 ball. They're going to do it with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. Knowing the deal, this is good. He's the leader of the. He runs a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They've not given up much of anything in the run game.
Back to clear, tough spot. Needing 11 yards to pick up the first. To throw his more. And he can stick the Giants of the line. That's the first down. It's going to bring up fourth down, only a gain of 2 there. Because they're defensive, that's good. With the slip of the game, and they shot that down the game. So flying away for the fourth time today. This is a fair catching single and take it. The Lions offense and Jared Goff set to take over once more. And he had it going in the first half, that's for sure. He's really had his way with his secondary. They've been powerless to stop him, and he'll look to keep it rolling right here. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Good drive last time. Really effective. The anticipate the defense making some changes. Britain simply just absolutely going in the direction. They're doing so much throwing the ball. Yeah, line call. Let's change it up until they showed me a reason to do so. It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend. He's going right through his defense in this ball game, but that's something right there. They're still in the third quarter. It would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles. It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left. It hasn't been a better day. They're trying their best to put that disappointment behind them and find ways to make plays. Great starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. This defense again really making things tough for them as they escaping from no game. These are the good is making plays near the scrimmage. Absolutely no way to win. So 2nd and 10 now here in the third quarter from Detroit. And again, it's good. It's the loss, and they'll 12. And that's going to do it. Clock hits 0. They're not going to get another playoff. Time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Ford Field. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Third down now. Those last two plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. Let's see. Let's see if the defense is going to move it. Successful in the end zone over the top. And they're indeed going to go for it down. So Trent here in the last quarter. Let's see if this plays out. Now Riley's getting the head of this. The Cardinals have covered down so the defense has to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. Doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Trying to shake up the interception and run to throw. Get there, 26 yards. They have the nice cushion. I just want to throw it on right now. Still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Not an issue.
When coaches come into the game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all three phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL, you end up with matchups that we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see it closer. Was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, this is what the execution means in this contest. Right to get in the middle.
Big lead. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. Not much anything on the return. So you get these to 23. And I was up getting ready to go, so take the free. We supported Wrighton that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase the deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, it was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And partner, they're doing some good news, but this one is getting close to being over, and then trying to hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
It's almost started with first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
I know this to be running back. I mean, this intensity usually gets the feelings the game gets. Just don't get experience. The first thing you're eager, you come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. But the fourth quarter, you come up and thinking about it.
And I do work for the fourth. It's the sequence of time.
But he's keeping his job on the floor. So to the consistent pressure on the quarterback is a huge cause of this win. Most teams are going to get a few of these games per year. You really have to just do it. But identify what's working and keep it going.
To be done here on 2nd and 16 after the strike.
Getting it from there. Get those miles, dudes. I think it's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good. And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. Attacking on the almost the spot. That means after that extra plays, it's too he's going to his first down is in order to get the conversion. This game is decided about what conversion there. This game officially enforced this person. So right now, we're only on a little bit of his agent as he thinks about going for a new contract. Yeah, I'm going to on the top. So taking down at the 47 line. It seems pretty obvious defensive key was stepping on the run game that they done it so successfully. To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back. Those are the ones you focus up on to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game. I mean, the foot into the really is just as he looked at the goal. Now it's starting getting major quarterback. His second no points to break. And you can have another incompletion to the total number that they first in this runaway contest. There's Marley. It's going to be over the game of 2 minutes. This is Moses is a sin. Being decisive because he saw sitting in front of him. He had a new formula to make the play. If they're going to try and keep here down, they're going for it. They're going for it. It's moving. The Cardinals are and that will force a turnover on downs. So they've gone for it twice now on fourth down of this game, and both times unsuccessful. I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Now that they're 0 for 2, if they get into a third situation, head coach might say, "Hey, you got anything for this one?" Might get radio silence back. Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10 at their own 43. Agency struggles about 2. Brandon, I think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge. It's a very nice job defensively against the Jets. They don't slow him up. He might take it to the house, so they'll take that play every time on the defensive side of the ball. This offense on 3rd down today, they've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is not forward. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They've got 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. Here comes the Lions punter now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And no returning still here as they end this football now. CD, it's all window dressing at this point, and the best they can do is in the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into the next contest. Yeah, with how lopsided this game has been, even one score, you might not do a lot of cosmetic good on the scoreboard partner because it's just about looking forward at this point. Get a touchdown here, give yourself some positive momentum and reps. And focus on the practice in the next couple of days.
And the big boys up front, they're going to stop right. You made that time by a leading deal. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Running at the floor. And get only 3 there, so it leaves them with 3rd and 7 ahead.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. It becomes just as critical to the passing attempt as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays.
And he's going to have a problem is they're able to get the division. This time he's getting the pressure was coming through here. So he simply didn't step it. This occasion, found an escape route and ended up getting the first down before taking the hill. Julie, you mentioned this one goes from 20. Something you'll do right there. Keep it yourself, get the first down, and get the heck out of business. No, he's thinking, I get a few more yards if I just lower on the shoulder. But he also has that second voice in his head. His head coach, Bobby's agent to us saying, get the brands and don't do that. Team, the first down. Let's give him a certain in front of them and go right in the end toss. As a defense, if you get so soft now that they're gets good yardage and puts points on the board, they're going to on the side of the ball. Out of the gun, and here's more. Keeper. Space them, picking up the first down. It's your game. Because no big game breakthrough on the front. I think he feels like the tricep different. Let's use the Lions here and see if we can make some plays. No passing touchdowns, yardage not where he would like it. Tricep can do it. The second set of the afternoon. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them. And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they said that's as a result of going on offense not doing their job? Let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long. So this one's over. It's a win for the Detroit Lions. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half the adjustment they did in the locker room. It certainly worked.
It certainly did. And you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaunt. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. It's a win for the Lions as we say so long from Ford Field.